Lots of stuff is happening today. This is the hardware we're going for in here. Look at the before. Paint samples. Ready? And that is not the color I'm going for, so isn't that so gorgeous? I ran out of wallpaper. It is finally time to start working on our cabinets, and I'm so excited for this step because once these are in, the laundry room's really gonna be basically finished besides the final touches. This is the biggest cabinet that is gonna go in there, and I've got it laid on its side right now because these wood-faced cabinets from Home Depot don't come with finished sides. One side on each of my cabinets is gonna show. The way to finish off the side of a cabinet is actually very easy. You just glue a sheet of plywood onto the side. It gives it a finished wood face, just like the front wood face. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the plywood piece that's gonna go on this side. Okay, now that we've got our plywood cut, this is what we're gonna use to adhere it. This is a super, super strong bonding spray that we're gonna use on both sides of this, but first we're gonna do a little tape. Don't want this glue getting on the face frame of the cabinet, so just gonna glue that to protect it. So I'm gonna spray very well the surface of this and the surface of the plywood, and then let it sit for 4 minutes. When you put this down, you gotta make sure you get it right the first time because it is strong. So this particle board is what we started with, and now the sides are finished with this nice plywood. We did this cabinet too. We're at the hardware store getting some crown molding for the top of the cabinets, and I think we're gonna get the same design crown molding that we have in other parts of our house, so it's all matching. I like to kind of build my trim in the store so I can make sure I'm gonna like it when I get home. So I got this crown molding, and we're just gonna use this simple piece of shiplap as our filler piece. And then the crown molding is gonna attach to this. And just for, like, we could leave this simple like this, but just for fun, we're gonna add in some trim. This one's all right. Kind of like this one, I think, better. I think this is good. Okay, cool, we got our crown. Okay, it's a new day, and I'm about to wood fill the bottom of these cabinets. So these store-bought cabinets are only wood in the front. So this particle board is sadly exposed, and I really wish they would make them to where they cover it with this wood, faux wood laminate, but they don't. So we've got to deal with this showing because this cabinet is a short cabinet, so it's gonna be up in the air and you'll be able to see the underside of it. This is the underside. I'm going to use some wood filler to fill this in and sand it, so when I paint it, it's all nice and smooth. So you shouldn't be able to tell a difference between this and just the normal painted wood on the rest of the cabinet. So it needed another coat of wood filler. So while that dries, I'm gonna work on the bottom of this cabinet. So this is actually the bottom. It's upside down right now. And on both of the cabinets I got, the bottom is like this laminate material that looks like wood, but it's actually very slick plastic. And I want to paint this so it matches the rest of the cabinet paint color. But you really can't just paint this slick laminate. The paint just won't stick well. The way to kind of get around that is to sand it super, super well. So I'm gonna be using my sander with a really coarse grit sandpaper to scratch it up really well. Then I'm going to prime it with some of the leftover primer that we did on the ceiling, and that's going to make the paint stick as best as it can to this kind of surface. So I have, oh my. So I've done 2 coats of primer on the bottoms of these cabinets, and I've done a light sanding on it so that it's very smooth. So when I paint it, there won't be any texture, since I did put it on with a brush and there's brush strokes. So now I'm going to continue with the process of painting and preparing the front parts of the cabinets, like the wood parts, for paint. And I will guide you through what I'm gonna do for that process. I'm actually following a video that I found. This guy created a step-by-step video on how he gets that factory-like smooth finish on cabinets by doing it yourself at home. So I'm gonna follow his method. I will link his video below, but I'll also show you what steps that I'm gonna take, because I'm following his way about 95%. I bought myself this spray gun as like a little late Christmas present for me, because I think it'll help me on so many projects accomplish things a lot faster, but there is a pretty big learning curve, I feel like, to setting this thing up and learning how to use it. So I'm gonna try to figure that out. I don't know about y'all, but I like to feel comfortable. If it ain't stretchy, I don't want nothing to do with it. If I had it my way, I would be wearing sweatpants everywhere I went, but I also wanna look cute and a little put together. The sponsor of today's video is Halara. You've probably heard of them. They are known for their cute and casual athleisure clothing that is both buttery soft and very adorable. These pants are actually from them, so let me show them to you. Here they are. They're linen pants. They have pockets, super, super comfy, and also very cute. One thing I love about Halara is that they are made for real life. So whether I'm hanging out at the house doing some DIY projects or I'm heading out for the day, I can look like I put a little effort into my appearance while still feeling like I'm wearing my pajamas. Okay, first of all, pockets. Thank you, Halara. Their pieces are so versatile that you can really take them from day to night with the same piece, just by switching up a few accessories or just changing a pair of shoes. They have so many beautiful color options. This is the fig color, and if you can't tell, this is kind of my favorite color right now. It does match the laundry room. I absolutely love their dresses. They are such good closet staples. And check this out, built-in shorts, built-in bra. You don't have to worry about none of that. To go to the bathroom, I got the easy peasy version. So you just pull down the shorts in the back, so you don't have to be in the nude to use the bathroom. I know y'all will appreciate that. Also, look how cute. Can't you just see me estate sale shopping in this outfit? One of the best things is that their sizes go from extra small to 4X. They also have pants and dresses that come in longer length options, but I especially appreciate that they have a petite option because I'm 5'1" and pants are always too long for me. But look at this, I don't even need heels on. They're the perfect length, and that never happens for me. And if you're worried that jeans that are stretchy like leggings will not hold you in like a pair of jeans do, don't worry, girl, because this material is supportive and thick, which is exactly how you're gonna be looking when you put these on in all the best ways. Their goal is to deliver top quality products at a fair price so that everyone can access adorable, comfy clothes at an affordable price. So go and check them out, because I know everyone will be able to find something that they love. Use my code in the description for 15% off your order, because life is just too short for uncomfortable clothes. So the first step, I'm gonna be using this sanding sealer. Excuse me, your noggin in the way. That's the first step. And in the video, the guy sprayed it on with the sprayer, but I think I'm gonna save the sprayer for my paint, just so I don't have to like clean out the entire machine and then do the paint. This isn't that much to apply the sanding sealer to, since I'm only doing 2 cabinets. So I'm just gonna do it by hand. I think it'll be pretty quick. I'm gonna use a foam applicator for this to get a smooth finish. Ironically, the foam applicator is actually making this sealer turn into foam. It's like very bubbly, which I've experienced a lot with like foam pads and foam rollers. They tend to just make the product foam up a lot. This seems to be drying down pretty flat, like on the first cabinet I did. The bubbles, like as it dries, they pop and is drying out to a pretty smooth finish. So I think it's fine. And on the can, it said you can apply it with a foam applicator. So as long as it turns out smooth, I don't mind if it's got some bubbles on here for now. I've got this little contraption set up here with my old cabinets holding up these saddle horses, which I have this rack hung over, and then I've hung my cabinets up here on some tiny little cup hooks. And this is really gonna help when I do the spraying of the paint especially, but this basically gives me access to the front and the back of the cabinets. So I can do both at the same time rather than waiting for one side to dry. So the first coat of the sanding sealer is dry, and you'll see that it made the wood super fuzzy. And it's supposed to do that because the sanding sealer is gonna get into the wood grain and fill it so that once it's sanded, you'll have a super smooth surface. There won't be visible wood grain in your painted finish. So I'm going to do a light sand with some 220 grit sandpaper. You can also use 320. And then do a second coat of the sanding sealer. I feel like the foam roller with this product, the way it foamed it up, just created some high spots that took me more time to sand down. For the second coat of the sanding sealer, I'm gonna try out this sponge that's very soft, and I've used it for staining before and it works really well. It's just a dish sponge that I'm using the soft side of. I'm gonna see how that works out and see what kind of finish we can get with that. This sponge is already so much better. I'm able to control the thickness of the coat better and make it really nice and smooth. The day has finally arrived that we're gonna put the color on these cabinets, and I could not be more excited. So one thing that the guy did in the cabinet painting video was he used an enamel cabinet paint, and I definitely recommend that. But because I have half a gallon of paint left from the laundry room, I'm just gonna use what I have, even though this is interior wall paint, not cabinet paint. I think it's okay in this case because my laundry room cabinets don't get a lot of traffic. If this was my kitchen or my main bathroom cabinets, then I would definitely get the enamel paint because it dries to a more hard finish. So it'll just be a little bit more durable, but we're also gonna do a top coat and all that, so I think this paint will be just fine. I'm really excited to use this paint sprayer, but there is a bit of a learning curve, so I'm still trying to figure it out. Excuse my very messy garage, but I'm gonna do some practice spraying on this cardboard to kind of get accustomed to this tool and also to set my pressure right. Here we go. Oh goodness. Okay, I need more cardboard. Oh, this is kind of fun. Safety first. Okay, the first coat of paint has had a good amount of time to dry, and I'm really happy with the way it's looking. I was thinking that I would need 3 coats, but I might only need 2 because the first coat I did was a little thick, probably a little too thick, but I gave it enough time to dry, so it should be fine. Aside from my rookie mistakes, this paint sprayer is amazing. It's really easy to use, especially once you get past the learning curve that it has right at the beginning, but I was able to work through any issues that I had. They were just, because I didn't know what I was doing. I did learn that, so when I was doing the first coat, it was coming out a bit too thick in some places, and it would just like blast a ton of paint. I was like turning the pressure down because I thought, okay, too much paint's coming out. Let me turn the pressure down so there's less paint coming out, but that is the wrong logic. The right logic is that if your paint's coming out too thick, you need to turn the pressure up so that the pressure is able to atomize the paint better, so it kind of makes it into more of a mist than a spray. Now that I've got that down, this second coat is gonna go a lot better and thinner, which is better for just making sure the texture is nice and smooth. Let me show you what it looks like. So these big cabinet doors are looking so smooth. Very, very smooth. But then, so these cabinets are a different brand. So the big cabinet I got from Home Depot and the little cabinet I got from Lowe's, and I had to do it that way because the measurements that they offered were different at each store. And this brand of cabinet has a much more noticeable wood grain that the sanding sealer didn't completely fill in. So sadly, that one is gonna have some noticeable grain. But other than that, the finish that the paint sprayer left is gorgeous. The next step in the process is to use some 320 grit sandpaper, and I'm gonna just do a light scuff sand over all the cabinets to smooth out the paint a bit better, and then gonna do my second coat. All right, new day, same shirt, because that's just how it goes with paint projects. So today is top coat day. The paint's dry. I got all the coats on there. I did one more coat on the little cabinet doors because I was hoping it would fill in more of the wood grain, and it did. It's still a little visible, but whatever, it's fine. So we're just gonna continue and do the top coat. I had like a ton of overspray using this paint sprayer. So if you like value your garage floor in any way or the things in your garage, I would not do this in your garage. Like, this is what my garage floor is purple now. Everywhere, it went everywhere. But then I realized, paint sprayers actually come with different tips. This one is a 10-inch tip spray, like fan, 10-inch wide fan spray that it came with. And yeah, needless to say, this is like the size you use for walls or a fence, not some teeny little cabinet doors. So I went to the store and I bought a 4-inch spray tip. So the top coat's gonna go a lot better and hopefully not use as much product because I won't be just wasting a lot of it in overspray. And for the top coat, I'll be using this water-based polyacrylic and satin finish. And I'm gonna do 2 coats. This is the wooden dowel clothes rod that was in the laundry room originally when we bought the house, and I'm gonna reuse it for the clothes rod that we're going to put back in there, but I'm gonna make some changes. So first I need to see if I can sand off this paint and get it down to raw wood. I tested out 2 stains, and the dark one is definitely the winner, and that is this gel stain in Kona. We are about to hang the cabinets. Oh my gosh, will you just put a shirt on?
Oh. Let me go put a shirt on.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So inappropriate before.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's better. Okay. Feels like the day that we've been waiting for is finally here. This is the last big piece of the project. And then it's like all the fun stuff, all the decorating and stuff. Neither of us have done this before. We're just kind of going for it. We're reading the instructions, of course, but we're kind of going for it. So let's do this. Oh my gosh, we're hanging cabinets. We're hanging cabinets for the first time. We're doing it.
We're doing it. This room has been empty for so long.
So long. I'm so ready to wash clothes again.
That's why I was shirtless.
He was shirtless because he has no shirts. Looks so good. We haven't had a light in here in like, I don't know, 3 months. We just got a light bulb put up there. See if it works. Yay, we have light. Let me show you what we got going on. This light bulb is actually it's an LED light that you can change the temperature on. So that's warmest, 2700. 3,000, 3,500, 4,000, 5,000. I think we're gonna go with the 3,000. I like it to be a little bit warm, but not like too warm. I like this. I think it looks good. It complements the colors of the room, so that's what we're gonna go with. And I haven't shown y'all this, but I thrifted this light fixture. This was just $3 at the thrift store, and it's definitely a vintage style. I think it fits perfect with the vibe in here. I may end up swapping it out in the future, maybe something a little bit wider of a profile. We had to work within a size restriction so that the cabinet doors would still open, and I just couldn't pass up a $3 light fixture. So maybe one day if I find like a very special one, I'll replace it. But for now, I think this one really goes with the design. You guys, it's finishing touches time. I am just so happy to be at this point after working on this makeover for several months. Now we can do the truly, truly fun part of putting a nice little bow on this room. So I want to start by putting all the little like jewelry on the room. The hardware, the curtain rod. I've already put up these 2 mounts for the clothes rod, which is all dry. So this is going to be so practical for in here. Now let's install this gorgeous hardware that I thrifted at the Habitat for Humanity. Looks so good. Oh man, these look so pretty. I love them. Also, need to mention that we've still got to put the strip of crown molding across the cabinets. We haven't done that yet because when we tried to install it, our ceiling is like a banana. So the crown molding won't sit flat, so we'll have to fill in the gap. It's a pretty big gap, but that's something we'll just have to figure out at a later time. And for right now, let's just keep going with the decor. This console looks so beautiful here. I'm so glad it fits. It like just fits, and I had to scooch the dryer over a little bit. So it's the perfect size for this space. It is not the one we originally were gonna put in here. We were going to put back the one that was in here, but that one just it was smaller and it didn't meet the storage needs that we needed in here. This one is so great because it gives us this bottom shelf is where we're gonna put our shoes. So that solves that storage issue. And then this upper shelf is I'm gonna find some baskets, and I haven't found the right size yet, but I wanna get some big baskets that can hold our workout clothes, because this is always the drop zone for the clean workout clothes. They just stay in here. So I can like pull out a basket. So this works so well in here. Also, this color just goes with the burgundy so good. I've been so excited to show you guys these. I DIY'd these curtains out of some longer thrifted curtains. These turned out so cute. These are like the perfect pattern and color that I wanted in here. And I honestly didn't expect to find them at the thrift store. I made them kind of this faux pinch pleat too by using these curtain clips, and I just pleated them by hand and then clipped it to hold. And oh my gosh, aren't they precious? And I hung the curtain rod this high because I wanted the curtains to be higher than this window seam. Also, I thrifted this curtain rod. This rod was 50 cents, and the brackets I found on a different day at the same store, and those were, I think, $1 or backwards, vice versa. So in a previous laundry room vlog, I started painting this floor vent, and it was like a brown color and that you see a lot of in older homes. And I primed it in that video, but I have just now painted it gold to match the doorknob that I spray painted and the hinges. And it looks so much better. Couldn't believe it turned out so good. For these knobs, I ended up finding some vintage ones that I thrifted. This set was about $6, and I had to get a back plate, so I went on Amazon to see what they had because I needed a specific size because this is a modern sized borehole. So I needed like a big enough size for that, and I found these. So really pretty, and just go right in there. But I didn't realize that I also there's more parts that I need that I still have to get. So won't be able to install this today. That is what it will look like. And it'll be gorgeous, like wow. But there's some inner screw threading that I need to order that did not come with these vintage knobs because that hardware just didn't exist on vintage doorknobs. All right, now let's do some real decorating. This is the rug I got. I love that it brings together all the colors of this space. It's got the beautiful burgundy in there. It's got cream to go with the wallpaper, and it's got some of the colors that I want to incorporate in the decor, like green, a little pink, maybe a tiny bit of blue here and there. So I felt like it really brought everything together. You may remember when I thrifted this laundry basket and I painted it, well, kind of like a paint wash to change the color tone because it was a very light yellowy color. And now it can live in here in its rightful place. I still haven't found a laundry bag that I like to put in it because the only way to attach the laundry bag would be to wrap it over the top of this lip, which would cover up all the beautiful scallops, and I just don't want to do that. So might just stay like this. This big blank wall is the focal point of this room, and so I want it to really make a statement. Right now it's just way too empty. Even though the rest of the room looks so beautiful, it just feels like there's something missing here. This wall can actually be seen from my kitchen and my dining room, so I really want it to look good from wherever you're standing. I've got several options for potential artwork that could go on here, all of which I stole from my living room. This is the first one, and I thought this one would look nice because we have so many rectangles going on in here that I liked that the oval brought in a different shape. And I really love that it has the burgundy leaves and the white petals that ties in both colors. Secondly, I thought, what if I do like a mini gallery wall with 3 pieces of art, kind of like a boom, 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 or like a boom, boom, boom. Several options here. Boom, boom, boom. I don't know. So I thought, what if I do this? Won't be able to hold 3 up, but like that, and then one up here. Another option, something small. Could stack this with something. Here's a wood option to just bring in some of the wood tone from the console table and the clothing rod. I'd have to get a piece of art for this one, but here's another wood frame option. Personally, my favorite is this one. I think it is just so pretty with the dark pink and burgundy flowers. Ties that in. I like the light matte. And it's very elegant looking too. So I think this is the one I'm gonna go with, but you guys can let me know in the comments if you would go with something different, if you liked a better option, if you liked one of the other options better, or if you like this option. So hanging a picture on wallpaper, scary. To avoid messing up my wallpaper, I put some painter's tape on here to mark where I wanted my hole to be, to make sure I got it perfectly centered without making a bunch of marks on my paper. To make it to where this isn't a permanent hole in my wallpaper, I'm going to use a little blade to cut a triangle from the wallpaper to make like a little flap. So I can lift up that flap of wallpaper and put my nail in. And then if I ever want to take this down and put my wallpaper back to how it was, I just put that flap down with a little bit of adhesive, and I don't have a hole in my wallpaper. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna cut right through the tape and the wallpaper. There we go. So now I have this little flap in my wallpaper, and that's where my nail is gonna go, so that if I ever wanted to take it out, I can just put that flap back down and you'll never be able to tell. For pictures, I love using these. These are like the most non-obtrusive way to hang anything, and you can hang very heavy stuff with these too. There's lots of different names for these: monkey hooks, super hooks, different brands, and they just stick right into the sheetrock. No stud needed. I recently got this little header topper thing from an estate sale for $8. And will y'all let me know in the comments if you think I should add this up here? I don't know if that would be too much, or if it's good enough and pretty without it. Since the rug has a little bit of blue in it, I wanted to bring in a touch of blue, and I recently thrifted this lamp, and it's the cutest thing I've ever seen. And I put this shade on it. This is a vintage Target shade that I thrifted, and I just think this looks so cute here. And I do want to get some sort of rubber mat for down here to just protect the wood from whatever's on our shoes. So here's a reminder of the laundry room before we did anything to it. Honestly, looking at it now, you would never guess that it started out as such a builder grade basic space with no added features, no charm. And now it looks fully custom. It looks like it belongs in a much more expensive house, and it's just breathtaking to me. I want to be in here. I just stand there and stare at it all the time. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on these vlogs for this series and kind of getting to see the entire behind the scenes process of this makeover and every little thing that went into it. It was a lot of fun for me to share that part of the process with you in detail. I do still have a few little things that need to be added to this room, like the baskets. We need a key ring, maybe a few more decorative elements. Of course, getting the doorknob fixed and installed properly. So there are just a few more things, and there will be a 4th video in this series. So I'm trying some new content for this series. The 4th video will be like the final makeover video, and it will have everything from start to finish of this makeover, but in a much more condensed and polished format. So it will be a different type of video for those of you who have already watched the vlogs, but it will just put a nice little bow on this entire project. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye guys.